Okay, so I'm back again, and this is looking at measures of concentration, and this time we're looking at parts per million. If you can hear sort of like purring in the background, that's because I'm holding a cat while I'm trying to do this. She's not paying much attention though. Okay, so when we look at this, we've got, in this question, we've been given a percentage, and we need to convert that to ppm. Now, if you can't remember, this is where ppm is equal to parts per million. Now, I calculate this different to the way the worksheet tells you, but it comes out correct. So I'm going to show you my way, but the book has its own way as well. Basically, we're looking at turning something into I always think of turning the denominator out per million. Okay, so it would be like how many grams, how many whatever grams over 1,000,000 grams. Okay, so grams over 1,000,000 grams. And you could think of it also as milligrams over a kilogram of something. That would be another equivalent. So it's basically a millionth of it, not a thousandth, a millionth. So into this question, it says we have at this of 0.01%. The first thing I do is write this as a fraction. So 0.01%, I'm having fun with my pen here, is equal to 0.01 divided by 100. I mean, that's what the actual symbol means. So I've got 100 here, and if I want to make it 1,000,000, how do I make this? I want to convert it to 1,000,000. Convert to 1, 3 zeros, 6 zeros. Okay, so I'm going to convert that to that, and I do that by timesing it by a 10,000. That will give me enough zeros. 2 zeros and 4 zeros is 6 zeros. Okay, that's my thinking. You might think a bit different. I'll show you another way of doing this afterwards. So now on the bottom, I have a million, and we don't even know what the measure is. It's just, of a part of the same thing, times the top part. So anything you do to the bottom of this, you also have to do the top. So 0.1 times 10,000, and you just move the decimal point 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 1 0 after it, 4, 2 zeros after it. So is 100 over a million. 100 over a million. So that would then give us the equivalent of 100 parts per million. Okay, that's one way. That's the way I think of it. It's just how my brain works. Another way you can do, which I tried with this as well, and it still works, is you go down and you write your, okay, so in this case, it's looking for you to go, you basically write out your fraction. No, basically you write out your fraction and you do the calculation first. So I timesed both of these by, so 10,000. So if I did this differently, or what you can do is 0.01 divided by 100. Do that first, solve that, and then times that by 1,000,000, which is also probably just as simple. And you end up with the same answer, 100 parts per million. Okay, because we're still basically working along the same things. So in this case, I multiplied the top and the bottom, and I worked it out on paper, and then I did this, but simply just plug in the fraction into your calculator and then multiply it by 1,000,000, sorry. Okay. When you get some other problems, like the next question in 6, which I'm not going to do a video on, one thing you're going to look at is also being able to, if to change it if your denominator isn't 100. So, but basically, if you use this method here, it's a lot simpler. So if that was like 0.01 over 200, or they might give you grams per litre or something to convert, you pretty much do the same thing. Okay, I might do the second question. I'll do question 6 for you as well, because I just feel like, why not, guys? Why not? 6. Question 6 in your booklet. Get off it. Not you. Okay, thank you. Is tail, get your tail off. It says about sodium in blood plasma. So Na plus, sodium ions in blood plasma, 300 milligrams per 100 mils. So this one's a little bit trickier because now you've got to put this as ppm. And we're assuming blood plasma has a density of 1, which is not true. Okay, but we're going to pretend it does. 1 gram per litre. Water does. Blood plasma has lots of stuff dissolved in it. It does not. But just for the sake of how this would work out. Okay, so in this case, you have 300 milligrams. And we have 100 grams. Okay, so that means that is going to be just 100 grams. That's what they're doing with that, assuming the blood plasma density. Okay, so you've got this, but what you got to remember is you've already got, this is not 300 grams, it's milligrams. So if you wanted to do the fraction thing, you need to be careful. It's not 300 divided by 100. It's actually 0.3 divided by 100. 0.3 grams divided by 100 grams. So make sure you keep those units the same. And then if you were to do that, and do that method from above, times it by 1,000,000, you should get the answer 3,000 parts per million. Now I did this my little other way because that's just my brain working, and I did this way: 300 milligrams and 100 grams. And I went, okay, get off the keyboard, Kat. Nope. Okay. Yeah, you sit there. Sorry. Okay. So 300 milligrams, but this time I'm not going to change the 300 to grams. I'm going to change 100 times that to make it milligrams. So 100 grams would actually be 100,000 milligrams because there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. Okay, that's that thinking there. That's what milli means. Okay, and then what I did is I'm just checking how I wrote it. And then I converted it to millions, so I just, times that by 10, times that by 10, times the top and the bottom by 10. Wow, that looks so messy. And so then I would get 3,000 over, you guessed it, 1 million. So again, I've still got 3,000 parts per million. So I'm kind of making the point that these are all fractions, and it's just about getting your denominator to be out of 1,000 to make it parts per million. Sorry, I just said 1,000. I meant million. So to get your denominator out of 1,000, out of a million is how then you get your parts per million. And you need to just apply the same math to the top as you do to the bottom. So that's another way of thinking of it. Maybe that just works in your brain better. Anyway, I'll do one more video for the other stuff.